Okay, so for this video, I'm going to talk about the different culture characteristics that we use when dealing with our cultures. So there are different types. We use broth, which is a liquid, which will help the bacteria with suspension. And then we use streak plates as well. And these different types have different characteristics that will show us, depending on the nutrients in them, what their different characteristics are. So I'm going to show you using broth, the prep, and then the streak plate as well. So before I get started, I always prepare myself. I didn't have my gloves on first when I started this, but you always put your gloves on, lab coat, goggles, hair pulled back, make sure that everything is out of the way from, getting anything on yourself or anything in your environment. You decontaminate your area and your workspace and yourself. Make sure you're protected. You'd make sure all of your media is labeled with the correct species, the correct organism name, and your initials. So that is how we would start. So for this, we're going to be using our tube and our broth that we have and our culture of specimen. So this is going to be our culture. This is going to be our sterilizing broth, and I have my inoculating loop. For this, I have my Bacto incinerator. I'll put that right here. So that's what we will be running our inoculating loop through, and the end of the the top of the tube, the opening, to make sure that everything is sterilized. So again, we did aseptic technique, labeled everything, and so what we're going to do is first we're going to take our culture, and we're going to make sure that we sterilize our loop through the Bacto incinerator. So we're going to do that. Hold it there for a minute. So to open this, we're going to open it with the top with our pinky finger. And then we are going to hold that in our pinky finger. So we're going to insert the loop into the culture and get a small amount. Be very careful with that. And again, replace the tube or the top, and we're going to put that back into our tube rack. And then, and incinerate it. My apologies. So when I would open this, let me do that again. So I would open it, I would incinerate that before I put the loop in, and then I would put the loop in, pull it out, incinerate it again, and then do that. Okay, so next we're going to remove the loop, and then we're going to incinerate the sterile broth. So we're going to open the cap the same way with our pinky, and then we're going to pass the lip through the Bacto incinerator, incinerate that. We're going to insert our loop with the specimen on it. We're going to stir it a little bit very gently so that it is distributed evenly. Again, we're going to pull the inoculating loop out, and we're going to run the top of the tube through the Bacto incinerator again and close that, and then we will put that back in the test tube. So from there, we will sterilize the loop and through the Bacto incinerator as well, and then set it down. So we will incubate the culture to see what we grow. We'll incubate that at 37 degrees Celsius for 24 to 48 hours. So for this one, we're going to be looking for growth. So where will the growth be? Will it be at will it be at the top of the liquid? Will it be all through the subsurface, or will it be in the bottom, in the butt of the tube? If it does grow at the top, if there's more growth at the top, that's telling us that the bacteria is more aerobic, so it needs more oxygen. If it's kind of throughout the subsurface, it could be both. It could be where it's anaerobic. It doesn't need as much oxygen, but it still does need some. If it's only at the bottom, then it's anaerobic. So it does not need oxygen. And then again, that's going to tell us, if it is aerobic and anaerobic. So we would let that, so we would observe everything. And so my video is not letting me go too long, so I'm going to have to stop. I would decontaminate myself and my area and dispose of everything in the appropriate